Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, and welcome inside Labatt Memorial Park for the continuation of Game 4 of this first-round series between the visiting Kitchener Panthers and the London Majors. Up here in the Game Day London broadcast booth, my name is Dylan Baker. Mark Paré to my right, the voice of the Kitchener Panthers. Mark, it was a pretty good ball game last night at the time of the rain delay. Yadier Martinez was throwing a great game for the Panthers. Pedro de los Santos nearly matched him for the Majors. A tight one all throughout, and then the rain played a role.
I'm trying to take a positive with this, Dylan. You ever have a really, really good steak?
Yeah.
And it's just so good that you want to save it for the next day?
Yes.
That's how I'm looking at this game here. A 2-0 Kitchener Panthers lead. Both pitchers were going very strong in that matchup last night. So they're going so strong, why not throw it in the fridge and save it for the next day?
Well, both of those pitchers who were cruising in that game yesterday are not on the mound to start the game today, as far as we've been told. We can see that right now on your screen for the Kitchener Panthers. That is not Yadier Martinez. That is Yamichel Perez taking the hill for the Kitchener Panthers, making his second appearance of the series.
And the last time we saw him, of course, was starting Game 3 on Sunday. And very Yamichel Perez-like in that start. Got to a slow start. He had some trouble in the first inning, of course. Gave up the early homer to Byron Reichstein. Gave up 2 runs in that first inning, but really found himself, really got into a groove as the game went along. Got through 5 innings, only gave up the 2 runs overall, 5 hits, 4 strikeouts, and a pair of walks. Right now, it's going to be a question of, do we see him go the rest of this game here and possibly maybe put the Kitchener Panthers into a Game 5 situation?
Well, in case you missed it, the Panthers were leading by a score of 2-0 after the top of the 6th inning when the rain came in and put a stop to the contest. So we're picking things up right where we left off. We're finishing what we started yesterday. It is the bottom of the 6th, and Austin Wilkie is stepping up to the plate. Now, we're not sure if there'll be a lot of changes for either side. We'll get those to you as we see them come. But for now, Austin Wilkie, who was scheduled to be up, is at the plate, and the first offering from Yamichel Perez is cut on and missed for strike 1.
With all the success that the Majors have had this series with hitting, Austin Wilkie is still trying to find his groove. Just 1 for 11 in this series, though he does have the single at the start of this game. 1 for 2 in this ball game overall.
That one off the plate outside, and it's 1 ball and 1 strike to Wilkie. Wilkie, a guy who was really a catalyst for both Majors championship runs, played a huge role on those ball clubs. Swings through a pitch there from Perez. Looked like it was an off-speed offering, and it's 1-2.
Might be very similar to how Yadier Martinez attacked the Majors last night. A lot of off-speed pitches early on in the count. Came back with some heat to try and just finish off the batters.
The 1-2 misses off the plate outside. Perez and Ibarra behind the plate sure thought that was strike 3. Perez took a strut off the mound there, but didn't get the call, so 2 balls and 2 strikes now. The umpiring crew is identical to the one that we saw yesterday, as that one is cut on and missed by Wilkie for strike 3.
Yeah, of course, that is Jeff Rose in behind home plate. He is the home plate umpire and the crew chief for this evening. Mike Kinnear's over at first. Nick Leffler is at second, and Rob Stevenson is over at third. Of course, when you get into these elimination games in the IBL postseason, that's when you see the 4-man umpiring crew. Usually you see those 3-man umpiring crews throughout the regular season.
Some guys that the Majors are very familiar with umpiring these games. They've been out throughout the season at Majors ball games, as that one's off the plate outside. And Perez early on throwing his arms up there, questioning that call, trying to figure out where it missed.
That's been the tale of this series, Dylan. Trying to find out where the strike zone is as the game moves along.
That one hit on the ground by Byron Reichstein to first base, and Liam Wilson gobbles it up and touches the bag. So there's 2 quick outs for Yamichel Perez to start the bottom of the 6th inning.
For the Kitchener Panthers, looking at the defense, again, very identical to what we saw last night. Humberto Ruiz, the former Major, is out in left field. Andy Leader in center. Jet Jarvis is out in right field. On the infield, it's Marcel Lacasse at third. Raul Gonzalez is at short. Stephen Whalen is at second, and Liam Wilson is at first base. And as you mentioned, Junior Ibarra is behind the dish.
So Starling Joseph will step into the batter's box here for the Majors to face Perez. Joseph swings through that one for strike 1.
0 for 2 yesterday, a strikeout and a flyout to center, but a guy that's got a lot of pop in that bat.
Perez looks in for the sign, now works into the windup. That one misses upstairs. It's ball one. 1 ball and 2 strikes with 2 outs. Joseph struggled the first time he faced Yadier Martinez in this series back in Game 2 here at Labatt Park. And as you mentioned, Mark, 0 for 2 yesterday as he fouls this one off.
But the other way, of course, he's had success against Yamichel Perez, albeit that was at Jack Couch Park in Kitchener. In Game 3, Starling Joseph went 2 for 2 against Perez, had a walk as well, and also scored a run.
Get a look at the skyline here tonight. It's a little overcast as we get settled in for tonight's ball game. That one is off the plate outside to Joseph, 2-2. And not only is it overcast, it's chilly, though it doesn't seem to be affecting you, Mark.
I'm from Northern Ontario, Dylan. This is nothing to me.
The players were on the field wearing some long sleeves and some sweaters for batting practice, trying to get adjusted to this change in temperature. It's a little bit cool this evening as Perez looks in for the sign, and time called, I believe, by Joseph. 15 degrees at the moment, feels like 14 in downtown London.
Sounds like swimming weather for me.
I don't know if I'd go that far, Mark. 2 balls, 2 strikes, 2 out. Starling Joseph looks to get something going here for the Majors. The pitch from Perez is fouled off, and we'll try once more on 2-2. Bit of a sparser crowd than we're used to here at Labatt Park, but that's what happens when a game gets suspended and they pick it up the next day. Not very many people able to alter their plans to come down and watch the Majors try to come back in this contest and upset the second-seeded Kitchener Panthers. Of course, Panthers leading by 2 runs. Coming into this 6th inning is that one cut on and missed by Joseph there for strike 3. So we are through 6 complete here at Labatt Park now. We'll take a quick break and be right back. You're watching Game 4 between the Majors and Panthers on Majors TV.
I want to ride this pony, but I suffer from low E.
Millions of people are suffering from low energy, commonly known as low E.
Low E has hurt my performance in the bedroom. I haven't been able to make the bed in years.
Now there's hope. Planet Fitness replaces low E with Big E, which keeps you energized and glowing all day. Simply join through the free PF app for only $15 a month.
Planet Fitness is a proud partner of your London Majors.
You're watching.
Here's the pitch. Joseph drills it to right center field. That ball's going back to the warning track, to the wall. Goodbye, baseball. Starling Joseph, a 2-run home run.
London Majors Baseball on MajorsTV.
Back here at Labatt Park now for the 2nd inning of play, I suppose, tonight. But the 7th overall in the ball game as the top of the 7th gets going, and a new arm takes over for Pedro de los Santos. Mark, Wilber Martinez takes the hill for the 3rd time in this series.
Who was very effective on Sunday at the tail end of Game 3. Had a perfect 4 innings of work, retired all 12 batters that he saw, and really finished things off and really put the digs in on the Kitchener Panthers and put them into this situation where 1 loss and they're out of the postseason.
Well, I think that was a really good bounce-back outing for Martinez,
Absolutely.
who struggled in Game 2, right? He came in after Pedro de los Santos was masterful for the Majors in his outing back here at Labatt Park for Game 2, and he allowed 5 runs for them, earned over 2 innings. So definitely an outing he would have liked to forget and then kind of erased it with his performance on Sunday.
Absolutely.
So it's the top of the order for the Kitchener Panthers. Both teams actually happen to start these innings at the top of their order, so super convenient for everybody. Elliot Curtis steps into the batter's box. First pitch from Martinez is in there for a strike, 0-1.
It's like the baseball gods were smiling on us.
Didn't have to look too far to figure out where we were in the order. Right at the top for both teams. As Martinez comes set out there on the mound and delivers the 0-1. Off the plate outside, it's 1 ball and 1 strike.
Curtis walked in the 2nd inning of yesterday's first half of the game, but otherwise 0 for 2 in this ball game.
He looks out as Martinez looks in, and he offers up the 1-1. That one Curtis got a piece of and fouled it off, so 1 ball and 2 strikes the count here.
Of course, he's been working his way in that top 3 of the order. There's, of course, a lot of power in that Panthers lineup. Elliot Curtis trying to fill in that role that was left behind by Blake Jacklin.
Here comes the 1-2 on its way. In the air, center field. Moving over is Austin Wilkie. He's camped under it, and he's got it for the first out of the top of the 7th.
Looking at the defense for the London Majors, Starling Joseph is out in left field. Austin Wilkie, who just made that catch, out in center. In right, of course, Byron Reichstein taking his normal spot. Dan Battelle is over at third. Tommy Reyes-Cruz is at short. Jordan Schulafand is over at second base. And Kane McGee is at first, and catching the balls and strikes is, of course, Eduardo De Olio.
Andy Leader will step into the batter's box to face Wilber Martinez. First pitch from Martinez, breaking ball that misses for ball 1. Now, Mark, just to go back to Martinez outing on Sunday in Kitchener, one thing I'm looking at in his line score is he didn't strike out a batter, also didn't walk a batter. So he was very contact heavy and reliant upon that weak contact in his successful outing there.
Really attacked the strike zone all throughout the game. He really felt like the Kitchener Panthers were shaken at the tail end of the game. Of course, you're already through a half game, another half game as well. Owen Boone absolutely just dominant, masterful on Sunday for the London Majors. And I don't know, maybe the Kitchener Panthers just didn't really have anything left in the tank. And by the time they even had Wilmer Martinez come up to the mound, what did they have left?
The 2-1 misses high. It's 3 balls and 1 strike here to Andy Leader. Leader 1 for 2 in the ball game, getting his first swings today on this calendar day. Second time it's happened to these two teams in this series where a game gets suspended and picked up later on as that one's off the plate outside. It'll be ball 4 to Andy Leader, and the Kitchener Panthers have a 1-out base runner.
Yeah, you look back on Thursday's game, I didn't even think we were going to get anything in. I was looking at the forecast maybe about a day before, and just looking at all the rain that was coming through southwestern Ontario, I was actually shocked that there was even one game that was completed on Thursday night. All 4 series started on Thursday. 3 out of the 4 didn't get completed.
Reese Dumani was here on Friday, and we were chatting about the fact that's a perk of being in Barrie, I suppose. Sometimes you don't get the same weather that everybody else in the IBL does, as that one's in there for a strike.
Yeah, it's not bad being north.
Barrie Baycats, of course, moved on last night, defeating the Hamilton Cardinals, so they are off to the semifinals in the IBL postseason as they chase down the Jacqueline Dominico Cup. Setting on the mound, Martinez. He'll deliver the 0-1 in the air. Center field. Wilkie has got it, and it's the second out. Tried to deke out Leader at first base there. Pretended he couldn't see the baseball, but came up with it.
And good contact made by Raul Gonzalez. Of course, he did strike out once yesterday, but more and more often this series, just getting that hard contact, getting it into the outfield. Sooner or later, those balls are going to drop for him.
So with 2 out and Andy Leader standing over at first base, that'll bring up the big bat of Liam Wilson, who is 1 for 3 on the day. Martinez, a quick peek over at Leader, and I don't think he actually got rid of the baseball, though he faked the throw.
Well, just keeping an eye on him. Keeping him true.
Martinez sets out there on the mound. Here's the pitch. Swing and a miss, strike 1.
And it's going to be interesting the type of lead that Andy Leader will take here. Of course, he's been on base. He was on base twice yesterday. And, of course, with the lefty, Pedro de los Santos, didn't feel comfortable taking as heavy of a lead as he might want to take here against the righty.
0-1 the count here against Wilson. We'll see if Leader's on the move. Not running. That pitch is a breaking ball. Wilson saying it clipped him. Jeff Rose, the home plate umpire, saying no, it did not. And Wilson, a little surprised there. Wouldn't be the first time in this series where a player has thought they've been hit. The umpire says otherwise. Happened to Cleveland Brownlee back in Game 1.
Yeah, we might not have video of it, but I can tell you that he was pleading his case the whole way. It was an inside pitch, caught him right in on the hands. And obviously that's the reason why Cleveland Brownlee is not playing in this series right now. Had his hand taped up pretty much halfway up the wrist as well.
Leader faked to break. DeOlio, a quick throw after that one missed high, and Andy Leader is back with a dive safely. But yes, you mentioned it, Cleveland Brownlee injured his hand on that pitch that got him up there, but didn't get awarded a base. The umpires thought it was a foul ball, and that happens, right? Tough call for an umpire to make when a pitch is that far up and in. Brownlee just happened to be on the wrong side of it in that instance.
I feel like the home plate umpire was playing more to the sound than actually the visuals that he saw right there.
The 2-1 on its way off the plate outside, and it's 3 balls and 1 strike.
Because it can still hit your hand, but also hit the bat and create that that noise, that unmistakable noise on baseball on bat.
In the case of Wilson here, though, didn't get his bat, may have just barely clipped him, and home plate umpire didn't see that, so he's still in the batter's box, though he's in a pretty good hitter's count here, 3-1. Martinez trying to avoid issuing his second walk of the inning. Leader's on the run. Wilson belts that one, but it's way foul, and so the count is now full at 3-2.
What's going to be interesting to see with this Kitchener Panthers team is to see these long at-bats. That's what pushed Pedro de los Santos' pitch count to 104 through 6 innings of work. There were a lot of 7, 8. There was a 9-pitch at-bat for the Kitchener Panthers, and that seems to be the game plan. Just work those pitch counts up, and sooner or later you're going to get something you really like and put it into a good spot.
Full count pitch. Martinez delivers. Wilson on the ground. It's stopped up by Battelle. He'll throw to first. McGee can't come up with it. The throw was in the dirt. Kane McGee tried to pick it. Didn't work. Skipped away from, and now the Panthers have runners at the corners with 2 out.
That is a big mistake there. Could get out of the inning, but now you got a runner 90 feet away from home plate in a tight ball game.
So error charge there to Dan Battelle. Leader makes it all the way to third base on the play because he was running on the pitch. Full count, 2 out. So now Junior Ibarra will stand up to the plate to face Wilber Martinez in a completely different situation. Martinez could have been out of this inning, but now he's got a runner 90 feet away from scoring with a pretty good bat at the plate for the Kitchener Panthers. We'll see how he adjusts. Wilson takes his lead off of first base. Here's the pitch from Martinez off the plate outside, and it's 1-0.
Of course, Ibarra has probably been the best hitter on the Kitchener Panthers this series. 5 for 9 coming into Game 4. Game 4, yes, he's got 2 strikeouts. He hit a single in the first inning yesterday. But, again, the second half that he has had with the bat, it's been phenomenal.
The 1-0, a breaking ball that misses inside. It's 2 balls and no strikes to Ibarra. We'll see if he can stay hot here and drive home a big insurance run for the Kitchener Panthers. Here's the offering on its way. That'll miss off the plate outside. It is 3-0.
And this has been a telltale sign for Junior Ibarra, just very patient at the plate. Takes what's given to him, got a really good eye.
Martinez readies on the mound and delivers off the plate outside for ball 4. So Wilber Martinez has now issued 2 walks in this top of the 7th inning, and this one loads the bases with 2 out.
And this will put up Marcel Lacasse, but again, the Kitchener Panthers, through the regular season, they don't have a grand slam home run to their credit, but batting .321 through those 41 regular season games. So, you know, when they have guys in scoring position, when they have runners on base, when they have the bases loaded, you know, it's not a matter of, hey, we're just going to put it over the fence and try to score 4. You know, play that small ball, put it into the outfield, maybe get 1, maybe get 2. They have a lot of speed on the base paths here, too.
Lacasse is going to try to drive a couple of these runners home. If he gets a base hit, the outfield pretty deep overall. Joseph a little further in, but Reichstein and Wilkie further back, so he will likely score 2 with any ground ball into the outfield. 2 out, bases loaded. Wilber Martinez sets on the mound and delivers the first pitch inside. DeOlio, a big block there in order to keep it from going to the backstop.
That's a big block by DeOlio right there.
DeOlio kept that one in front of him for his pitcher. Martinez, 19 walks in the regular season as compared to 26 strikeouts in 29 innings pitched. For the most part, he was pretty good at limiting the walks, though there were games, as that one misses inside as well, where he walked more batters than he struck out. You look at August 16th against the Guelph Royals, where he walked 4, struck out 2. July 30th against these same Kitchener Panthers in Kitchener, walked 5, struck out 4. And the appearance prior to that, he walked 5 and struck out 1. But last time out, he was terrific for the Majors and looking to wiggle his way out of this jam as that one finds the strike zone, and it's 2-1.
Good placement of the ball just right around the knee area of Marcel Lacasse. He's not swinging at that one. He's taken all the way.
And can you blame him? I mean, 2 walks issued in the inning, 4 pitch walk to Ibarra. Here's the 2-1. Lacasse drives that one to right field and deep. Byron Reichstein's looking up, and that ball is going to get out of here. Marcel Lacasse delivers with the bases loaded and 2 out. It's a grand slam, and the Kitchener Panthers lead this ball game. It's 6-0.
That is the first grand slam home run for the Kitchener Panthers all season long, and it could not have come at a better time. Marcel Lacasse got a charge into that, found the right pitch, and again, you mentioned it, Dylan, the 2 walks that were issued earlier in this inning. Marcel Lacasse having that feeling of a little bit of easement in the batter's box, and as soon as he saw that pitch, it was going right toward the scoreboard.
So now Martinez tries to bounce back against Stephen Whalen, who lines that straight back to the screen there, 0-1. Mark, I think you spoke it into existence. You mentioned just before that at-bat the Panthers didn't have a grand slam all year, and then it happens. Marcel Lacasse delivers in the clutch.
I have a secret, Dylan. I tend to do that a lot.
That one fouled off by Whalen there, and it's 0-2.
And for those that listen to the Kitchener Panthers broadcast, it's happened a few times this season where I'll start talking about a guy that's been struggling as of late. Sure enough, 2 pitches later, there's a ball over the fence. It happens.
No balls and 2 strikes. Stephen Whalen in the batter's box, ready to face the offering from Martinez, trying to get out of this inning and get the Majors back on the bats. Here's the pitch. It will miss, and it's 1 ball and 2 strikes. And we mentioned the 2 walks that led to that grand slam. The error also proving to be a costly one because that would have ended the inning, and the Majors would have got on offense unscathed. Here's the 1-2. Off the plate, 2 balls and 2 strikes.
If we go to a Game 5 situation and the Kitchener Panthers end up advancing, that's going to be a big thought of what if we make that grab at first base to end the inning.
Action in the Majors bullpen. Braden Farrington getting loose, as you see on the 519 Jersey Auction mobile camera. Stephen Whalen swings through that pitch, and that is strike 3 to end the top of the 7th inning, but not before Marcel Lacasse delivers a big blow for the Kitchener Panthers.
30 pitches for Wilber Martinez in that inning. And the 1 pitch over the heart of the plate to Marcel Lacasse, putting it over the fence. Again, this is going to be a big inning that the London Majors look back on and say, we should have gotten that last out. We should have gotten that last out. It's the game of inches. And the second that error was made, all of a sudden the Panthers had some momentum. They're able to load the bases, and all of a sudden 2-0 turns into 6-0.
Well, 2-0 to 6-0 is a big chunk of insurance for the Kitchener Panthers. And if you need insurance, we've got you covered. Here's our insurance tip of the game with our insurance guy, Eric Gagne.
This week's insurance tip, we're talking about collectibles, maybe a sports card collection, jewelry, any type of other kind of collectible that you have in your home. There is a limit that most home insurance companies have to the coverage you'd get if all of those items were stolen or if they were damaged in a fire. So make sure your insurance company knows if you want coverage for your sports card collection or other memorabilia, jewelry. There's usually a cap on how much jewelry an insurance company will pay out on a claim. So make sure any kind of collectibles or jewelry, fine arts, fine furnishings, make sure the insurance agent or broker knows so that they can report it back to the insurance company and get that coverage added to your policy in the event that there is a major loss in your home. So today's tip, make sure your insurance company knows about any kind of collectibles, memorabilia, and jewelry. I'm Eric Gagne with our insurance guy. Now back to you guys.
Back now at Labatt Park for the bottom of the 7th inning between the London Majors and the Kitchener Panthers. Kitchener just took a 6-0 lead, and that was our insurance tip of the game. Thank you again to Eric Gagne, our insurance guy, for delivering that one for us. And Mark, as the Majors get back on the bats, a little less momentum and a little bit of energy sucked out of the ball club after the grand slam.
Yeah, that's a huge grand slam. If you're the Kitchener Panthers and London, it's all about now just maybe inching away, just picking away at the Kitchener Panthers pitching staff, and maybe get 1 or 2 on the board and just keep going at it. But you don't have much time left. You have 9 outs remaining to put 6 on the board.
Well, normally if that's a first inning grand slam, you say, okay, you're down 4 runs, you just chip away throughout the ball game. That's not an insurmountable deficit, but this is the bottom of the 7th inning.
I got to ask, did you stretch during the 7th inning stretch?
I didn't personally, but Take Me Out to the Ball Game did blare on the speakers here at Labatt Park, and I love it.
Take Me Out to the Ball Game before 8 o'clock.
Something you rarely see in a 7:30 start, that's for sure, as that one's off the plate outside, and it's 2 balls and 2 strikes to Tommy Reyes-Cruz. For the Majors, it's scheduled to be Reyes-Cruz, Deolio, and Kane McGee as Reyes-Cruz drives that one to right field, and it is over the head of the right fielder Jet Jarvis and over the wall. It's a ground rule double, and Reyes-Cruz thought he hit a home run, but instead he'll stop up at second base.
He had his hands up in the air celebrating a home run, but yeah, that indeed bounced just in front of the warning track and over the fence right around the Jack 102.3 sign.
Plug for the local radio station there, eh?
Hey, I'm a radio guy by heart. I mean,
Eduardo Deolio will now step up to the plate for the Majors with his ball club trailing by 6. Beautiful sunset you see on your screen there in downtown London. The best view in the Intercounty Baseball League from the press box. That is, without a doubt, a fact as Deolio swings through that one, 0-1.
yeah, I just get highways from trees. Not that it's in a bad position per se, but this is a beautiful view. You got the reflection of the sun right against all the buildings.
We're very, very lucky here
Absolutely.
at Labatt Park. 0-1 the count to Deolio. Reyes-Cruz standing in scoring position at second base. Nobody out in the inning. Here's the offering from Perez. Deolio fights that one off in the air. Wilson giving chase, but out of his reach. It's a foul ball.
Now, you wouldn't think that Eduardo Deolio was coming into this series not 100%. He's been battling all throughout this series, batting .400 coming into yesterday's beginning of the game. 0 for 2 so far in game number 4, but he's been battling at the dish the whole time.
No balls, 2 strikes. Pitch from Yamichel Perez. Deolio, cue shot off the end of the bat. Wilson charging hard, and that one will drop in foul territory. Bit of a check swing foul off there for Eduardo Deolio, and Liam Wilson nearly made a great defensive play.
Yeah, he doesn't have as much speed as I have seen at the beginning of the year. Of course, he was struggling with an Achilles injury earlier on this year. He was batting as the DH for, I want to say, about a month, but now taking that spot back in at first base, it takes a little bit to get through an Achilles injury. I'll tell you that much from experience.
Swing and a miss there from Eduardo Deolio. That's strike 3, and he is down for the first out of this 7th inning, and now we've got a pinch hitter here. It is in the spot occupied by Josh Williams in the beginning of the game, and now that is Robert Mackey stepping into the batter's box here for the London Majors. So not sure what the exact changes were, but Mackey's in there, and I think Robert Mackey came in the spot defensively of Dan Battelle at third base. So that error was not actually on Battelle, it was on Mackey, if I've got this correctly. Because that looks like the same guy that was standing over at third, as that one's low for a ball. 1-1.
Wouldn't it be nice if they told us these things?
Did not get the heads up that was going to be the change. Well, I'm being told it's a DH spot, so now I've got no clue, as that one's cut on and missed by Mackey. He's hitting for Josh Williams, so excuse me, it looks like it was Dan Battelle over at third. Trying to get everything sorted out here in the continuation of a game. It's never easy. It's not normal to continue a game right where we left off the night prior, as that one is called strike 3 on Robert Mackey, so he comes in as a pinch hitter and goes down on strikes.
Good start here for Yamichel Perez. He has retired 4 London batters by the strikeout here so far. He's been working the strike zone very well and really just keeping the London Majors off kilter.
So 2 out now in the bottom of the 7th inning, and that'll bring up Jordan Schulafan. Schulafan trying to get a run across here for the Majors. They got a double to lead off the inning from Tommy Reyes-Cruz. Schulafan squares around to bunt, gets a pretty good one down. Going to be a tough play for Lacasse. Throw to first. Not in time. Schulafan beat it out. A rare 2-out bunt attempt, and Jordan Schulafan is aboard with a bunt single.
That is a perfect bunt, squared down the third base side by Jordan Schulafan, putting it right into that sweet spot. He recognized that Marcel Lacasse was playing a little bit deeper toward third base, so had that little bit of extra room. Jordan Schulafan's got wheels, and he was down, and he was about 2 steps ahead of the throw.
So that'll bring up Kane McGee, and a really good play by Lacasse there, not to take away from his effort, as he came in on the run throw to first and nearly had Schulafan, but Schulafan beat it out. So he stands over at first with Reyes-Cruz at third and Kane McGee into the batter's box. First offering on its way to McGee is in there for a strike. It's 0-1.
Good bounce back pitch by Yamichel Perez. Just get ahead of the count here. No balls, 1 strike. Maybe focus on the batter here. Try to get a quick out and get out of this inning.
0-1 count, 2 out. As action continues in the Majors bullpen, that one misses high, and it is 1 ball and 1 strike.
Yeah, you got to use Braden Farrington in this ballpark. He does not like pitching in Jack Couch.
Farrington, a guy who pitches to a lot of contact, and the large dimensions of Labatt Park certainly help out his pitching style, as that one's fouled off, and count is 1-2 on McGee.
McGee yesterday 1 for 2 in the ball game. Hit a single in the third, but was later stranded at third base.
Trying to avoid stranding Tommy Reyes-Cruz at third base, and Schulafan over at first. Would be good for the Majors to get some runs across here, despite the fact that Kane McGee can't tie the game up on his own. Here's the pitch on its way, just off the plate outside, and it's 2-2.
Good patience there by McGee. Just on the outside of the strike zone. It looked like Ibarra was trying to frame that one back in, but Jeff Rose says, nope, that's outside.
So 2 balls, 2 strikes, 2 out. Perez sets and delivers. Chopped on the ground, right back to the mound. Perez will give a look to third and throw to first to retire Kane McGee and end the bottom of the 7th inning. We are through 7 complete here at Labatt Park. Majors down 6-0.
Here we go.
Believe me, you've never heard a talk show like this.
I'm sleeping with Joe Carter. By the way, Joe did not touch them all.
Yeah, I have to say, your voice is fantastic. Meet Smitty.
Listen, I'm the brains here.
And Mitty.
And I'm the good-looking funny one.
This is the Smitty Mitty Show.
Catch new episodes of the Smitty and Mitty Show wherever you get your podcasts.
You're watching London Majors Baseball on MajorsTV.
How do people feel about getting a Planet Fitness membership for $15 a month? How do they like working out in a clean and spacious gym that's filled with equipment for every workout? And how about free fitness training in the judgment-free zone that leaves them feeling energized all day long? Get started at Planet Fitness today through the free PF app, online, or in club, and start getting that big fitness energy for $15 a month.
Planet Fitness is a proud partner of your London Majors.
Back now for the top of the 8th inning between the Majors and the Kitchener Panthers. Mark, we've got a pitching change for the Majors as Braden Farrington takes over on the mound, and a defensive change as well with Judd Walker over at first base.
Yes, Judd Walker comes in, replacing Kane McGee. I don't actually see McGee out playing any other position. It looks like everything else is the same. But on the hill, of course, Braden Farrington loves pitching here in this ballpark, as you've talked before. Pitches to contact, and a guy that, well, let's just put it this way. He does not want to pitch in Jack Couch Park.
He is making his first appearance of the playoffs. Have not seen him yet in this series.
I think he was still gassed from going 7 innings his last
Fair
time
enough.
out.
Yeah, it was that Tuesday night against the Guelph Royals, the makeup game where he went 7 innings and was terrific for London.
Yes, he was.
Threw in 6 games in last year's playoffs. He threw 6 scoreless outings. Did not allow an earned run. Went 1-0 in that postseason. Majors, of course, winning their 2nd consecutive championship as that one's in there for a strike to former Major Humberto Ruiz. That one will miss, and it's 1-1.
Just attacking the strike zone. A lot of off-speed stuff here from Farrington.
Here comes the 1-1. Breaking ball in there for a strike. It is 1 ball and 2 strikes now.
Of course, the key with Farrington here, too, is that he's a lot more different of a pitcher than what you've seen with De Los Santos and Martinez. They have a lot more heat on their pitches, trying to throw the Panthers off here.
Ruiz gives this one a ride towards center field, but Austin Wilkie is playing that ball perfectly and makes the catch for the first out of the top of the 8th inning.
Didn't have to move all too much out there in center field, and Wilkie's been a busy man here in Game 4. Made a number of catches in yesterday's first half of the ball game, and really didn't have to move all too much. Really just gets a good read off the bat.
Here's the first pitch to Jet Jarvis, fouled off for strike 1. Majors have a pretty good defensive outfield when Wilkie's out there, when Drew Lawrence is out there. Can't really go wrong with the options out in center field. And in the corner outfield spots as well with Joseph and Reichstein. All guys who can throw. As that one misses, it's 1-1.
And guys with a lot of speed, too. They can track down balls very quickly.
1 ball, 1 strike, 1 out. Here's the pitch. Fouled off. And it is 1-2. Crowd cheering something. I think a fan caught that one. Am I seeing that correctly? Or did it get stuck? I'm not sure.
Maybe it dropped in between. There's a couple of holes in the netting here.
Yeah. Just a few in the higher parts of the netting. Here's the 1-2. Blocked by Deolio, and it's 2 balls and 2 strikes.
And you know, if you're Jet Jarvis here, you want to keep battling and just try to get a ball in play. He has struggled mightily here in this series. 0 for 3 in Game 4 so far, and 0 for 11 in the previous 3 games. Yet to get a hit here in the 2023 playoffs.
Jarvis looking to change that. Guy who hit near the top of the order at points this season for the Kitchener Panthers, now hitting in the 9 spot because of his lack of success in the postseason. He cues that one off the end of the bat and foul.
Well, he's actually looked more towards in that 9 hole as kind of that faux leadoff guy. So during the regular season at times he would go into that 9 spot to really set the table for guys like Blake Jacklin, like Andy Leader, Raul Gonzalez. He was pretty successful at that, but again, here in the playoffs, in that 9 hole, he has been struggling.
That one misses for ball 3. You saw on the 519 Jersey Auction mobile camera just a moment ago a young fan who made a nice catch on that foul ball. Big smile on his face. He gets to walk home with a souvenir. Full count to Jet Jarvis as Braden Farrington tries to set him down. He delivers the offering. Jarvis on the ground towards first, and Judd Walker getting his first action, touches the bag, and makes the play for the second out.
The struggles continue for Jet Jarvis, the right fielder, here in the postseason. He's going to get a hit at some point. He's making contact, but he's just not getting the luck.
He will turn things over to the top of the order here, and Elliot Curtis. Nobody on, 2 out. Farrington, you'd think, would be asked to complete this ball game for the Majors. Finish this 8th inning and then finish the 9th as well. That one misses high for ball 1.
Elliot Curtis, a lot of pop in the bat. He's flown out twice in Game 4. He grounded out to short back in the 5th inning.
That one misses. It's 2 balls and no strikes to Elliot Curtis here.
And again, Curtis, a guy that they look on for offense, had a really good start to the regular season, was hitting everything over the fence, it seemed, had a bit of an injury situation.
That's there for a strike, 2-1.
And then once he came back, again, he wasn't really putting the ball over the fence. He wasn't really hitting for power in Jack Couch Park, just more for contact and just putting the ball in play, and he was very successful at that. The home runs did come later on, though.
That one chopped on the ground towards first base. Walker plays it on a hop and takes it to the bag himself to retire the side, and that's the game of baseball for you, Mark. Judd Walker, fresh into the ball game, records 2 of the 3 outs in this inning as we go to the bottom of the 8th, 6-0 Kitchener.
I'll tell you, that's how you keep warm, right? You come in cold into a ball game. That's how you get right into it. Just a couple of grounders your way. Fielded both of them perfectly, and just made the simple play. It's what you want.
Majors have yet to get anything going against Yamichel Perez since he's come into the ball game. He's thrown 2 scoreless innings. Tommy Reyes Cruz last inning did get a double to lead off the frame, but then was stranded over at third base. Jordan Schulafan bumped him over there with a bunt single, but Majors stranded him, and now they've got to start from 0 here with nobody on, obviously, to start the bottom of the 8th inning and trying to get back in this ball game, trying to claw their way back, trailing by 6 runs late.
Yeah, and at this stage here, if you're Bill Matish, the field manager for the Kitchener Panthers, just ride Perez. He's looking great on the hill. He's getting the strikeouts. He's working the strike zone very well. Save some of your arms for a potential Game 5 tomorrow night. I say potential because, again, anything can happen in the IBL. There's still a little bit of runway left, but a 6-0 lead for the Kitchener Panthers if Perez continues the way he's going. And we go to a Game 5 tomorrow night in Kitchener. You have all those bullpen arms to work with in the do-or-die situation.
Yeah, we'll see what the plan is here for Kitchener, for London, as this game finishes up. Kitchener leading by 6 with 2 at-bats remaining. Going to be a challenge for the Majors to come back in this one, but if they want to do it, it should probably start now. They've got 9-1-2 due up in this frame. Dan Battelle, who is being pinch hit for. It's Brett Graham coming to the plate now for Battelle. So Brett Graham now into that spot. It'll be Graham, Wilkie, and Reichstein due up for London against Perez. Perez into the windup. Here's the first offering to Brett Graham. Strike 1 from the lefty.
Graham batting 167 in the postseason. Was hitting 263 during the regular season, 25 for 95. But a lot of singles, only 4 doubles were the extra base hits for him.
Brett Graham, a guy who struggled a little bit at the beginning of the season and really came around as the season progressed. That average was below the Mendoza line for a little bit there, and then he shot it all the way up to 263 by the time the season ended, as you mentioned. 0-2 is laced foul and into the empty, almost empty grandstand down the right field line. 0-2.
Yeah, we had a great crowd here last night, that is for sure. A lot of noise, a lot of energy.
That pitch is fouled off by Graham. Not the same amount of people here, but the Ballflowers still in attendance, making some noise down there behind home plate. And
that's that home field advantage, right?
Yeah. Leafs have it in Toronto with the Bushmen.
Yes, they do.
Majors have the Ballflowers here. One of my favorite things that a lot of people don't notice because it's not often featured on the broadcast is when the opposing pitcher's warming up, every single pitch that they throw, they yell out, ball, just to throw them off their game. It's little fun stuff like that the Ballflowers do to help entertain the crowd. Here's the 0-2. On the ground to third base. Lacasse plays that on the backhand. Delivers a strong high throw to first, but Liam Wilson is able to flag that one down, make the catch, and record the first out of the bottom of the 8th.
Great arm by Marcel Lacasse there. Fielded it perfectly. And you have an arm like that. Of course, he did come to the Kitchener Panthers midway through the year from the Barrie Baycats. Saw a lot of time behind the dish when Junior Ibarra was representing his country, Team Cuba. at the international level. And as soon as Ibarra came back, Lacasse and him were kind of a platoon in behind the dish, but Lacasse is really finding himself a permanent spot there over at third base. Also can play the outfield too, the ultimate utility guy.
Very versatile, Marcel Lacasse, and you mentioned came over from the Barrie Baycats. Barrie made 2 trades this season, Marcel Lacasse to Kitchener and Christian Kuzemka, to the Brantford Red Sox. Don't often see very many trades in the IBL, as Austin Wilkie fouled one off, then swung on and missed, so he's behind 0-2.
And that was just an embarrassment of riches by the Barrie Baycats in the Lacasse situation. They just had too many guys on the roster. They offered him up, and Kitchener took him.
So that one misses, and it's 1-2. Perez gave a motion of some sort to the home plate umpire, Jeff Rose, after that one was called a ball. Wilkie calls time, steps out, and resets.
Again, Wilkie 1 for 3 in Game 4, including that single in the third, but both outs of the strikeout variety.
1-2, that one misses. 2 balls and 2 strikes to Wilkie here, looking to avoid another strikeout. Perez into the windup. Here comes the 2-2 home. That one will miss for ball 3. Austin Wilkie putting together a pretty good plate appearance right now.
Yes, he is. And he's not really biting at some of those 50-50 balls, as Perez tried to pick the bottom corner there, just barely missed. A more impatient batter would have swung at that one.
Here's the 3-2. Wilkie on the ground at third base. It's going to be a tough play for Lacasse, and the third base umpire says that's a foul ball.
Just barely, too. He was pretty much right at the bag, and it bounced to the other side just before.
Wilkie's got pretty good speed. Lacasse has a good arm. Was going to be a close play over at first base. I was excited to see the result of that. From up here, it looked like it may have been fair, but the third base umpire right on the line able to tell that one just snuck foul. So full count, 1 out, nobody on. Wilkie will try to get something going here for the Majors. Offering on its way from Perez. Wilkie skies that one, right field, not very deep. Jet Jarvis is over, and he's under it to make the catch. There's 2 gone.
Yeah, it looked like Wilkie got a little bit too much under it. The previous pitch from Perez was going low, went a little bit higher with that location, and Wilkie just popped it right up, right into the lights.
So Byron Reitschein will step into the batter's box after Wilkie popped out, and Byron going to try to get something going with 2 outs for the Majors. They are in need of a spark right now. The Grand Slam really put them down in terms of energy as that one misses. It's 1-0.
And I think they're getting the ball chance getting ready.
1-0. Here's the pitch. Chopper towards first. Wilson steps back, makes the play, races Reitschein to the bag, and that's a race that the first baseman wins. So that'll do it for the bottom of the 8th inning. We're off to the top of the 9th. Kitchener is still leading by 6. It's 6-0.
Go beyond the scores and get to know the athletes who call the Forest City home.
Joseph crushes one.
Game Day London brings you in-depth stories and conversations about London's major teams and the athletes. Whether it's in the rink with the Knights or on the field with the Majors, Game Day London has you covered from the start. For fresh and engaging sports coverage, visit GameDayLondon.com, a proud sponsor of MajorsTV.
You're watching London Majors Baseball. London Majors Baseball.
London Majors Baseball on MajorsTV.
How do people feel about getting a Planet Fitness membership for $15 a month? How do they like working out in a clean and spacious gym that's filled with equipment for every workout? And how about free fitness training in the judgment-free zone that leaves them feeling energized all day long? Get started at Planet Fitness today through the free PF app online or in club and start getting that big fitness energy for $15 a month.
Planet Fitness is a proud partner of your London Majors.
Back here at Labatt Park for the 9th inning between the Majors and the Kitchener Panthers. Dylan Baker, Mark Perry with you for this evening's contest. The resumption of Game 4, and it has not gone to plan, for the Majors.
Not at all. A 2-0 lead for the Kitchener Panthers coming into the second half of this two-day affair here for Game 4. Of course, Kitchener getting a run on an RBI single back in the first inning from Junior Ibarra. They get another one, an RBI double in the 6th, right before the rain came down. But Marcel Lacasse's grand slam home run in the 7th has been the difference here in this ball game.
Braden Farrington on to pitch his second inning of work. First pitch to Andy Leader is popped high in the air, and over at second base, Jordan Schulafand reins that one in for the first out.
Good job by Schulafand to call off the first baseman. Knew he had it immediately and makes the play.
So one out, and that'll bring up the big bat of Raul Gonzalez for the Panthers to face Farrington. Farrington thrown 16 pitches through 1 1/3 innings. He's been pretty economical so far and going to look to continue to do that as he enters his second inning of work. Pitch to Gonzalez, breaking ball in there for a strike, 0-1.
Of course, Raul Gonzalez, MVP candidate in the IBL this season. I'm wondering when those final tallies will end up being publicized, but I know Gonzalez is looked upon very highly among the brass in the IBL, and again, his resume speaks for itself the way he's been playing all season long.
He's got a 1-1 count here against Braden Farrington. Here's the pitch. Chopper, foul, and it's 1-2. I'm seeing some questions in the chat asking when Game 5 will be, if necessary. And if necessary, that game will be played at 7:30 tomorrow night at Jack Couch Park. Mark Perry, Neil Shrivastava on the call.
Absolutely. A typical Thursday night affair at Jack Couch Park. We're used to Thursday night games in Kitchener, so why not?
Yeah, it's perfect the way it worked out for you guys.
Exactly.
Get the normal home night.
It's what Mr. T always said. It's always nice when a plan comes together.
On the ground to third base, Brett Graham into the ball game. Stops that one up, throws one that is high, but Judd Walker able to make that catch and complete the out, so 2 gone now.
We got some stud third basemen playing in this ball game.
Marcel Lacasse and Brett Graham have shown off the arms so far in the ball game. And now with 2 out, that'll bring up Liam Wilson. As we're in the top of the 9th inning already. Feels like we've barely even begun.
I might be able to go get some late dinner in Kitchener at this rate.
2 out here in the top of the 9th. Wilson 1 for 4 in the contest. Here's the pitch from Farrington. Wilson fouls that one off. It's 0-1.
Of course, the timing pretty expected here. We're just under an hour gone here tonight. In the resumption of game 1 on Sunday, that only took maybe about an hour and a half, and that was to get through, I believe, 5 innings there. We're only going through 3.5 here tonight.
That one chopped foul, and it is 0-2. And we started pretty much on time, I think, here tonight. Right around 7:35 as scheduled. Noah Smith, our producer and director today, nodding along.
Yeah, it's not every day you have 3 play-by-play announcers for one contest. Of course, I got in a couple of innings. Noah took the helm for the first few, and, of course, you got yourself here tonight.
0-2 pitch from Braden Farrington. Liam Wilson sends that in the air. Right field. Reichstein going back. He's got it. And he makes the play. So now the Majors go to the bats in their final at-bat of the ballgame. Final chance to tie this thing up as they trail by 6.
Kitchener's retired 6 of the last 7 batters they have faced. Let's see if Yamichel Perez comes back out. I believe he is.
I didn't see anybody warming up in the Kitchener bullpen. Did you?
No, I did not.
All right, so we'll assume that Yamichel Perez is heading back out for his 4th inning of work, trying to close this ball game out. He's thrown 46 pitches through 3 innings. And that begs the question, Mark, if Game 5 gets played tomorrow, who gets the start for Kitchener? Christian Hawk?
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah, it will be Christian Hawk on the mound for the Kitchener Panthers tomorrow night if we go to a Game 5. I'd be curious to see what Owen Boone's arm looks like after the last few games.
150 pitches on Sunday, is that what it was?
151.
Wow.
He had 81 pitches at the tail end of game number 1, which, of course, he ended up finishing off the complete game through 2 days, and then 70 pitches in the first 4 innings of work in Game 3. Just unbelievable job.
Well, normally MLB pitchers get 4 days of rest in between after going 100 pitches or so. Owen Boone going 150, maybe getting 3 days of rest. I mean, that would be something else, but I would never, ever say no to an Owen Boone versus Christian Hawk matchup.
Yeah, we saw it in Game 1. Of course, it got rained out. London ending up coming out with a 3-1 lead before the rain came down in Kitchener just about a week ago. It wasn't very Christian Hawk-like in terms of what we saw with his stuff, but now that he's kind of in the groove of things and getting back into it, I'd be very curious what he looks like the second time around this postseason.
Starling Joseph stepping up to the plate, and he's arguably been the Majors MVP this season, and he comes up in a big spot here as you see him stand in our 519 Jersey Auction mobile camera. Joseph trying to ignite a rally for the Majors. And just to get back to the Kitchener pitching situation for a moment, it really feels like they've built their entire pitching plan around Christian Hawk getting the ball in a decisive Game 5.
Yeah, and he's been your ace all season long. You have Yadier Martinez and Michel Perez going in this game here tonight and yesterday as well. Those are your three. Those are your 3 horses that you're looking to ride. You also have guys like Jose Vasquez that gets put into the bullpen. Jacob Douglas is pretty much your 4th guy that you'd start out with in case of an emergency.
Swing and a miss there from Starling Joseph. Got a breaking ball, took a big hack at it, and came up empty. It's 2-1.
But what's going to be curious is if Kitchener ends up moving on to round 2 through 5 games, what does their situation look like going into round 2?
Here's the pitch. Joseph on the ground, right back up the middle, and Stephen Whalen is there to make the play. Throws to first in time to get Joseph for the first out, and that will bring up Tommy Reyes-Cruz to the plate.
Just 2 more outs, and again, Michel Perez is cooking in this game. He's got the 4 strikeouts, and he's pitching to contact, challenging the strike zone very well. The London Majors are putting bat to ball, but again, the defense has been operating very well here for the Kitchener Panthers, and it's putting the smile on the face of their fans and especially their field manager as well, who I talked with earlier on. That was the big thing off the top of his mind. Just get the pitching, get the defense, get out of here, and get to a Game 5.
So that one fouled off by Tommy Reyes-Cruz. They're 2 outs away from getting to a Game 5 of the IBL quarterfinals. Breaking ball in there for a strike. Into round 2 already are the Barrie Baycats and the Welland Jackfish, the 1st and 3rd place teams in the IBL in the regular season. The Jackfish will face the lowest seeded team remaining, as that one is off the plate outside. If the Majors win this series, it will be the Majors. If Kitchener wins this series, it will not be Kitchener.
Well, if Kitchener wins this series, it will be Kitchener-Barrie in round 2, no matter what.
2v3 series as that one gets popped up into foul territory, and a good play there by Marcel Lacasse, tracking that one down for the second out.
Of course, there is one other game in the IBL this evening. It's the resumption of Game 4 in the other series that's still going on. It's Toronto and Guelph. We don't have an update for you. The scoreboard has not been updated on the website at this point in time. I was checking Twitter to see if there was any updates coming from Hastings Stadium. Nothing at this point in time. But going into the 6th inning there, it was 8-4 Toronto as the Leafs look to close out the series.
Eduardo De Olio takes a swing at the first pitch and sends his bat flying. You get a look at it there on our 519 Jersey Auction mobile camera. All the way down the warning track, and the bat boy has a long way to run to get that bat. De Olio will just take a different one.
Went further than that chair that Dino threw yesterday in Guelph.
Dino Rumel ejected last night in the game against the Toronto Maple Leafs, and It's made its way around the IBL now that he threw a chair in the midst of that ejection.
That man had a family.
Eduardo Deolio in the batter's box, trailing in the count 0-1, trying to start a 2-out rally here for the Majors. Off the plate outside, it's 1 ball and 1 strike. Perez working quickly. 2-1 now the count.
He's got something on the stove. He wants to get out of here.
Right back onto the mound. Here's the 2-1. Deolio pops this one up. Foul territory. Ibarra going back towards the screen. He makes the catch, and that will do it in tonight's ball game. So Yamichel Perez comes in and throws 4 scoreless innings of relief. And Mark, the Kitchener Panthers take this one by a score of 6-0 and force a Game 5.
I guess I'm working tomorrow night, Dylan.
It looks like it. A great job by Yadier Martinez yesterday for the Kitchener Panthers, and then a phenomenal job by Yamichel Perez coming in today and closing the door.
And that's the way to do it. Again, challenging the strike zone, getting the strikeouts. You know, it was very Yamichel Perez like when he is very much on his game. He didn't struggle, and obviously the grand slam from Marcel Lacasse really helped in padding up that lead that he had going on to the hill. And now it's anybody's ball game here. It's Game 5.
So tomorrow night it will be a decisive Game 5 in Kitchener. First pitch flies at 7:30 from Jack Couch Park. And, Mark, we are in for a doozy.
Yeah, it's going to be Christian Hawk on the hill for the Kitchener Panthers. I'm thinking it might be Owen Boone, even if you only see him for a couple of innings for the London Majors. But in a do-or-die situation, you got to send your best arm to the mound.
Well, that'll do it for our coverage here tonight at Labatt Memorial Park, all 3.5 innings of it. We thank you all very much for tuning in last night and today for the entirety of Game 4. For Mark Paré, my color commentator, Noah Smith, producer and director, my name is Dylan Baker. Please take a look tomorrow night, and we hope to see you very soon.